Welcome back to First Up this Thursday morning, 7:32. That's 28 minutes moving up to 8 o'clock. In this segment, we focus on opportunities for education, and also we want to highlight some good work being done by Sital College in Tacarigua. Our guest, the Executive Director of Sital College, Anne Marina White, and also two visiting professors from Australia, Professor Rod Oxenberry, who is a professor in management, and also Professor Kevin O'Brien, who is a professor in economics. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this morning. Anne Marina White, I keep calling Anne Marina. Anne Marina White, congratulations on your new set of graduates coming out.
Yes.
You're graduating a new cadre this coming Sunday.
Yes. Yes, on Sunday we are having our first graduation. It's a joint graduation with the other TCs who are approved to offer the AIB degrees. And we're really very pleased to have these two professors join us, confer the degrees, and speak to the graduates about opportunities. And you know, it's an exciting day for us.
Let's start with you, Professor Oxenberry. Australia as an education center has been growing significantly in the last 10 to 20 years. What is it about Australia that people fly all the way down under to take advantage of your educational facilities, especially in terms of business and business management?
Well, it's happening both ways. People are coming down to Australia to look at our programs and to participate in them, but we're also, because of the strength of the Australian education system, and it's very well regulated, we'd say rigorously so, being on the receiving end of that, that it's established a strong reputation. And what we're doing now is reaching out and trying to establish relationships with a global footprint on education and create opportunities for others to participate and benefit from these programs.
Professor O'Brien, in terms of the credibility factor where these qualifications and credentials are concerned, from my understanding, the AIB's credentials are impeccable, and people who graduate with these sorts of credentials have global reach and potential and credibility and respectability.
Yeah. The Australian education system is, as Rod said, very highly regulated, and we have to get an accreditation and a registration, and every 4 years we are audited and have to be re-accredited. So we have to maintain a high quality in our programs and meet the requirements of the Australian qualifications framework to maintain that. And we also have to work with, where we work internationally, with good quality partners who are able to deliver the programs at the levels that's expected.
With that said, and I'm going to put Ms. White on the spot here, how rigorous was the examination process for Sital College to be able to get your approval and your endorsement as being partners? Let's start with Professor Oxenberry on that.
The process has been going, well, we started about 3 years ago, nearly 3 years ago, and it's a process of discussion and exploration, and we're very keen to make sure that our partners have comparable standards, both in terms of what they're doing with their own programs, but in terms of their commitment to quality and so on. And we were very excited to find Sital, and we've been very pleased with the past 2 and a bit years with the nature of their systems and the way that they've brought students in. And so it's been a good marriage between the two organisations. We think we've got a network of good quality organisations. We audit our centres each year, and we have a system in place whereby we ensure that we know what's going on and that our partners know what's going on with us, and so it's a real integration of effort.
And Marina White, your graduation ceremony will focus, it's the first graduation.
Yes.
AIB, MBA, and BBA graduates this coming Sunday.
Yes.
What have your students told you about this experience for them and the fact that they're now going to be actually, they say, until the diploma hits your hand.
Yeah, that's right.
You haven't graduated. But what have they told you about this experience?
Well, I think for most of them, they have found that the experience overall was challenging, and it's not unexpected.
And challenging is good.
It's good.
It is.
And what they have also indicated is that even after the first couple of modules, so they don't even have to wait until they've graduated. What they have found is that even after the first couple of modules, they were able to contribute more meaningfully to their organizations. One particular student told me that she did not realize that there was so much to learn, and when she went back into her organization, she was able to provide ideas, she was able to provide solutions. And I think that's in essence what the programs are about. And you hear, if you go onto our website, you'll see a whole number of testimonials, students who have said what this program has done for them, and the recommendations are coming fast and furious. And I think when students can recommend you and recommend the program, I think that's in essence says a lot for the program. So we are very pleased with the feedback from the students, and we will have an opportunity to hear from them on Sunday as well, you know, and
about their experiences.
About their experiences. They're going to be sharing that at the graduation as well.
Professor Brand, what's the accreditation process like in Australia?
The accreditation process is a very detailed one, and you have to accredit both the organisation and the individual programs. And where you offer them out of Australia, as we are here, they also have to be accredited to do that, and it has to aim or has to have the same quality and the same level as it does in Australia. So we don't have one level in Australia and another level internationally. It's exactly the same set of programs, and the authorities are particularly rigorous, I would say, in third-party activities outside of Australia, because that introduces a level of uncertainty in some cases. We've been very careful, and we've never had any difficulties, but it is very highly regulated.
As education itself goes through its own globalization process, regulation is very important, standardization. How important is that, the recognition of that? And also, people may look at it as a bad thing. Regulation is a great thing. How much of an advantage does it give your graduates in terms of networking ability with other students who've gone through the program, other leaders in business and economics around the globe? Professor Oxenberry.
The tagline for the Australian Institute of Business is the practical business school. And we're a specialist business institution. We're not a generic university, we're a specialist business institute.
Which makes it even more profound when graduates go through the program.
Correct. And we're very committed to applied learning, work-based learning, that students take their own experience and bring that into the classroom, analyse it, assess it and build on it. And that has proved a very attractive proposition for students who are employed and trying to grapple with the challenges of business in this globalised period.
Let's talk about the fact that while the AIB is Australian-based, Australia is a little further along in its development in Trinidad and Tobago, but we're getting there. We have our peculiarities in terms of our own economic situation and challenges,
yes.
and our own business setup and structures. While there are universal principles in business and the curriculum moves around at a global level, are there specializations made for developing countries and Caribbean type economies in terms of the curriculum that comes to Trinidad and Tobago, although standardized by the AIB? Let's start with you on that, Professor Bright.
The local facilitators will always include local examples and case studies in their program. So the course materials are set out the theory and the expectations, but the facilitators will develop that with local experiences. And we obviously have online discussions that enable people to do that as well. So it's a process that's a challenge in some cases, but we certainly work to have that local content included.
Because AIB, the Australian Institute of Business, is a specialized educational institution focusing on business economics and in some instances HR issues, what are you preparing students for in the present global context, given what we've seen in the last 10 years, with upheavals in some economies, with the global financial meltdown? How has the program changed now to meet these new challenges globally?
I think that it's actually directly led to a greater emphasis on leadership and leadership development, and also in terms of entrepreneurship and setting up businesses.
Which is a big buzzword in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Well, it's important that people are starting to look and search out opportunities and then have the chance to set up their own particular business or their
and the
activity.
training to do that.
And they need the training and the education and the foundation to do that. So that's received certainly much greater emphasis. I've mentioned one other area that too has received some greater emphasis, and that's in the governance of organisations and in the ethical base of organisations. We've seen that in the last few years that this requires further attention and a greater focus, and so we've integrated that into the program.
And Marina White, you're also having, in addition to the graduation and these two scholars here with us, an opportunity to meet with prospective students.
Yes.
Employers and HR managers are today.
Yes.
Let's hear a bit about that.
They have a very, very busy schedule, and unfortunately, we had to wake them up quite early to come to the show. So we are trying to make the best of them. In addition to the graduation, yes, this evening at 6 o'clock, we are having a forum at which we are going to be speaking with prospective students, HR managers, and employers. And while my purpose of the information session is to provide information about the program, Professors Oxenbury and O'Brien are going to be speaking to the academic content of the program, the relevance of the qualifications, the modules, the teachings to the workforce. And we feel it's really very important that HR managers who are looking to employ capable people, and I use the word capable, and I need to stress on the word capable, because you can come out or you can have a qualification and the ability to perform and translate the information that you would have learned to the workplace is really a challenge for a lot of people. So what we are hoping is that HR managers and directors of institutions, employers, would be able to come in, listen to what they have to say, and also be able to ask the questions that are relevant to their employees and their needs. In addition to that, before they actually do the information session, they're going to be meeting with our academic staff, doing a bit of training, doing a bit of discussion, so that we can decide where we want the degrees to go. For us here, what are the challenges we face as a developing
Because education
nation.
is an evolving entity.
Of course it is.
Changing all the time.
Yes, and in fact, one of the things that we find about their program is that we are always challenged to make sure that we have the most up-to-date learning material, the new books. The students find that a bit of a challenge, but the thing is, in the long term, that is what actually contributes to the quality of the program.
Yeah, and that's what you're talking about,
Yes.
getting quality graduates.
Yes.
So the graduation takes place on Sunday, and the training session, and also included in that, HR managers who want to also invest in their staff and their companies is also
right.
important,
Good point,
in addition to hiring people who just come in on their
Yes,
own.
yes, I think that's critical, because we do actually have a number of organizations who have funded their students